Hi everyone, thank you so much for having me here. I'm really excited to talk to you about my post-internship experiences, insight gains, challenges, and some of the repeated works. So, the course is Reflection Assessment of Industrial Attachment Portfolio. Course code is GRDC 481. And I did my internship in Kumasi photography session, so we are going to talk about more of photography. First is the attachment experiences. That is, first, paying attention to details, team working skills, creativity, choosing and setting up locations, and taking of pictures. So, paying attention to details, which is the ability to focus on all areas of a project, color, light, within the frame. As a result, the work is free from errors and more of accurate. Yes, the ability to focus well. Okay. And the second one is team working skills, which talks about collaboration, working with people to achieve or share the same goal in an effective way. And also, working with people brings their diverse perspective to problem solving, which in turn increases the chance of arriving at a solution. That is the team working skills. Creativity is the ability to use original ideas or to improve upon existing ideas. That is, during photography, you can bring out a pose for your client in order to take the shot. Okay. The next one is choosing and setting up locations, which is the ability to choose a location that suits the style of projects that you are going to shoot, which can be photographed from different angles so that we can have the feel to, have the freedom to express your creativity. And the last one is the ability to take pictures, which is by knowing the right settings at any moment. Yes, so there are specific settings during the day for any photography session or any photography shoots. So let's move on to the innovative and insight gains. That is shooting the same thing with different lights. That is experimenting under lights. So it says it doesn't matter whether you are taking photos of a wildlife or people. Light is the key to any great image. Harnessing different types of lights can create entirely different images. So if you are finding yourself struggling to express creativity through photography, working with light could be the easiest fix to that artistic block. Yes, light is everything. Light is the key to any photography work. So working with lights and also experimenting with light is a great way, to bring out your creativity. Shoot abstract in nature. There's nothing that helps your creativity in photography like shooting an abstract. It changes the way you view things and also forces you to look for something new. Okay, especially the golden hour, shooting under that moment also brings out your creativity and also improve your skills. Yes. Changing your perspective also, like, going beyond the normal way, So it says changing your perspective, which can be often, we can often find ourselves shooting with the same lens. Most of the time, there's nothing wrong with having a favorite lens, especially if you are consistently getting good results. Why not try shake things up? After all, boosting your creativity in photography is all about forcing yourself to think outside the box. That is doing different way, which is entirely from what everyone is doing, which also boosts your creativity in the photography industry. So the next one is study your composition. That is having idea whatever you are going to shoot, whether to the kind of props or an accessories to be used, the clothes and everything. So he says there are plenty of rules which comes to photography. But to quote from a famous pirate, They are more like a guideline than actual rules. Following different rules of a composition can completely change the feel of an image, how it draws the viewer's eye. It's also a great way to be creative. Some compositions are seen more often than others. For example, the rule of third is probably the most, like placing your subject in the middle of your shoot. Yes, it's also a great way to achieve. It's a great way to achieve a great picture. Yes. And let's move on to some of the executed ways that I did during the internship. First one is a full picture of this lady in a red dress. So here are the details. I used 6D camera. The lens is 55mm. Light setup. That is a speed light TT520 in 8D600. Yes. And I retouched it in Photoshop using Retouch Academy, and after that I color graded in Lightroom. And this is the results. And the next one is a portrait of this lady. So the details is I use Canon T7 Rebel, which is the entry level camera. The lens is 50mm. Light setup TT520 on flash. And softbox of 90 by 90 softbox. Retouch it in Photoshop using Retouch Academy, and color graded in Adobe Lightroom. Yes. So this is the before. This is the before and after. So as you can see. The next one is a portrait of that same lady. The details remain the same. Canon T7 Rebel camera, 50mm lens, light setup of TT520 speed light, retouch in Photoshop using Retouch Academy, Adobe Lightroom, and the picture look more of zoom, like you zoom in, because it's a Rebel camera. If you put 50mm on it, we're gonna be 80 automatically. So that's how it is. And this is the before and after. This one also is during the internship. I use 6D camera, just full frame, which gives you wide view of the subject and the surroundings. And the lens is 50mm. Using a natural light, retouch it Photoshop using Retouch Academy and Adobe Lightroom. And this is the results. Another one here, also the same 6D camera, the same lens, 50mm, light setup TT520, Photoshop with the help of our Retouch Academy, Adobe Lightroom and Capture One to achieve these results. And this is another one too. So using Canon T7 Rebel camera, lens for 50mm, light setup TT520 with the help of Photoshop for the retouching and also Adobe Lightroom for the color grading. So this is the before and after. Yes. So a portrait is the before and after with the details of Canon T7 50mm, light setup of TT520, retouch in Photoshop, color graded in Adobe Lightroom. And this is the aftermath of the watch. And so during the internship, that's wedding photography. So cameras the same Canon T7, lens of 50mm, light setup of TT520, using a softbox of 90x90, retouch in Photoshop, color graded in Adobe Lightroom. So we're going to talk about the challenges that I faced. One is focusing. So I was struggling on how to get everything in focus for a perfectly sharp photos. So I was using the viewfinder and the aperture was wide open, and I didn't know that when the aperture is wide open, you have to use the live screen. Yeah. So I wasn't getting sharp images until I increased the aperture, that is from 5.7 upwards, before I started getting sharp images, and also increasing the shutter speed. Okay. And the lighting, it talks about using lighting in different conditions because it controls the tone, mode, and atmosphere. Yes, I was placing the lights in a different way. Instead of focusing on the client that I'm shooting, I was doing different things. So until then, I learned light is very important in shooting. That is, it controls the tone and the mood of whatever you are shooting. And the last one was finding locations. Like, there are scenes that requires a specific location to be shot. So sometimes finding that specific location may take time. Okay. Thank you so much for listening and watching my presentation. Thank you.